Hey guys, I'm here for a new review, and today's review will be on the new movie Where. This was directed by William Brent Bell, who directed The Devil Inside, which I liked. I mean, I know a lot of people really hated that movie. I know it was called one of the worst movies of 2012. I know, I liked it. I will say though, the ending was terrible, so I'll say that negative thing about it, but overall I still liked it. He also directed this movie called Stay Alive, another movie I actually liked as well. But this movie, I'm actually going to say was his best work thus far. So, this movie is set in France. It's about this family who goes on this camping trip, but then they get brutally murdered. They get basically ripped all apart, and they're thinking it was like some kind of animal. However, the woman who was attacked, who was like barely alive at this point, she describes it as basically like a big human, since she's saying it was a he. So they arrest this really tall guy who lives a few miles away from where the attack was. He's a really big, hairy guy. Yeah, so they arrest him, take him into custody, and they're gonna put him on trial. Then this lady who was an attorney gets assigned to him, and so she wants to prove that he's innocent. So she tries to help him, tries get some evidence to show that he's actually innocent. But there is actually some evidence, he suffers from this disease that basically makes his bones and his muscles weak. So that shows that maybe he actually didn't do the attacks. But up until then we actually see some kind of evidence that that does show. And the lady how I just mentioned that described the attacker as being this guy. She ends up dying and by going into shock. Yeah, so the guy this guy maybe I'll just say his name. What is his name again? Talon. Talon is the guy's name. He later on goes crazy by when they do this experiment on him, and they find evidence that was that the attack was on a full moon. So maybe they're thinking he's actually a werewolf. However, they don't actually say werewolf until the end of the movie. So they're thinking maybe he's just a guy who actually goes crazy from the lunar radiation from a full moon. So that just makes him go crazy, and he unleashes the beast inside of him. And man, when he does, it's actually some pretty crazy shit. He basically mutilates people. We did see him smashing people's heads, ripping them apart. So I will say that the CGI in the movie, there was some CGI blood and whatnot that was pretty bad. So it was pretty good death scenes. However, they were ruined by some pretty bad CGI. And although there were some CGI stuff, there was CGI from this part where we see kind of his back moving all weird, like he's transforming. That was actually pretty good. And I will also say their the acting in it was actually pretty good. Nothing amazing, but it was pretty good acting for what they had. And I was thinking that the ending of this movie was going to be terrible, but it was actually pretty good because there was a pretty cool fight sequence in this movie, and so I actually liked that fight. I mean, I also liked where Talon was ripping people's jaws right off. That was pretty cool. So I also did this part where they go to the morgue, finding the people he attacked in the very beginning, seeing their dead bodies all mutilated. So the makeup for that was pretty cool too. I also like this way this movie is filmed because it was sort of like a found footage movie-ish, but not fully found footage though. So it wasn't really The Devil Inside in that way. There's things that are filmed through maybe security cameras, things filmed through news cameras, but the movie was filmed sort of like a regular movie. However, even the stuff that was filmed like a regular movie kind of also still felt like a found footage movie, sort of like the way Chernobyl Diaries was filmed. Another movie I liked as well, by the way. So I actually did like this movie. It was a pretty good werewolf movie, despite like I said, it wasn't really much like a werewolf movie. It was more like the moon was like making him go crazy, making him basically act like a beast. Yeah, so I like this movie. I definitely recommend it. It's definitely one of William Brent Bell's best movie, and well, I'm actually gonna say it is his best movie so far from all the movies that he has made. So I recommend this movie. And I wish it was in the theaters, but instead this was straight to DVD. So I will recommend it. Like, check this movie out. And I think that's really all I gotta say. Okay, stay tuned for another review, which will probably be next week. Alright, see you.